Welcome to the Business Standard Morning Show, Mr. Shekhar.
Thank you so much.
Just give us an overview of the current job market in terms of job postings at Monster as well as Quest as a large employer.
I think we've been reporting consistently over the past 6 months, ever since the severity of wave 2 has gone down, that job postings have been on a steady uptick. And across most of the sectors, 25 out of 27, we've been reporting that they have been growing consistently, both on a month-on-month basis as well as year-on-year basis. So the job market is as healthy as it could possibly be, despite whatever COVID impact has been there in most of the sectors. There are still a couple of sectors that we would like to see the demand coming back to pre-pandemic levels, travel and tourism, offline education, etc., which have also been picking up over the past 2-3 months. But apart from that, IT hiring has been on a significant uptake for a while now. Retail has been similar. BFSI, thanks to the aggressive plans of a lot of fintech organizations, has seen aggressive hiring. So across the board, I think the situation is very, very healthy.
What are some job trends that you are seeing going into 2023?
BFSI is one, and we're adding rolling fintech into BFSI. That's something that's definitely been witnessing a huge demand in terms of requirement for skilled manpower. Some new sectors like crypto, etc. We just reported this month that a quarter back we barely saw any jobs with relevant skill sets needed for crypto, but this month we've seen more than 5,000 plus jobs available. And sales, while everybody talks about the great war for talent in tech, people often tend to forget that there is this demand for sales professionals is as high, across the organizations. While organizations need tech talent, but when you have organizations like fintechs, retail, e-commerce, etc., social commerce go out, you'll also have a huge demand for sales professionals. So we are seeing more organizations being location agnostic now, especially in the technology domain. The last 2-3 months, we've seen fresher hiring come back with a bang. Fresher hiring has picked up. Almost every single customer that we're talking to have been conveying us the fact that this time the fresher hiring that they are looking at has been the highest ever.
And in your view, what is causing this high attrition among mid-level employees?
I think, end of the day, at the core of it is demand-supply mismatch. You have to look at it as it being an employee market at this point in time, because there are a great number of opportunities which are chasing fewer number of candidates at this point in time, right? And you might ask, why did suddenly great number of opportunities come? And that's where it's a combination of factors, because almost every organization in their midterm, near-term plans had a process of digital transformation, digitization. What pandemic has done is greatly accelerated some of those plans. Okay. That's factor number one. Factor number two is, driven by the uncertainty of pandemic, a lot of companies have kind of held on to their plans. And now when we hopefully, when we see the light at the end of the tunnel from a pandemic perspective, all organizations have suddenly now been, emboldened to say, now let me put those expansion plans into action. That's factor number two, which is playing out, right? And factor number three is, while certain sections of industry have been adversely impacted by pandemic, we also know that there have been many other sectors which received significant investments. So whenever somebody says they've attended Unicorn Series by raising $100 million, you have to understand that plan has significant hiring component to it. The challenge of attrition is absolutely real. The war for talent is absolutely real. And organizations have started to believe now that the true differentiator between two organizations is the quality of manpower that they are able to put into work.
Now we come to your other platform, QJobs, which you launched for blue and grey collar workers. What explains the traction in this space?
What we always felt is much of this was offline. The hiring activity was always there. And people were struggling to get this process, to digitize this process and build an online platform around it. So there's always been demand around this one. People have been dealing with suboptimal processes for a very long time. But over the past 2-3 years, because people are now more comfortable from a digital adoption perspective, both candidates as well as recruiters and organizations. Much of this activity is now moving online. And therefore, when it moves online, everybody feels like there is an opportunity to build a scalable business. The second thing that's happening is there's a bit of formalization that's happening in the blue and gray collar space. Candidates are more comfortable using digital aids. They want to discover what's the best job available to them. They want to find the most appropriate job for themselves, and they're comfortable using a digital platform. Whereas most of this process earlier used to be offline.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.